So in this section, which is still in 8.4, but should be also included in 8.1, is the situation where these problems right here, where you're given an x value and you're supposed to use the graph to evaluate each expression or to find the y value or the f of x value. And so take a look at 71. It says what is f of 0? So 0 is our x value, and so I have to look at 0 right here and go directly up to hit the curve. And so I see that the y value would be 1. And so to write that out for that problem for 71, if I wrote f of 0, oops-a-daisy, if I wrote f of 0, then my y value would be 1, which is a coordinate point, which we've talked about before, but I just want to make sure you've seen enough problems and can do these kinds of problems. So again, if I go back to the book, if I'm giving f of 1, I go over to where f of 1 is. Here it is. Here's f of 1 right here. There's x at 1. Then I have to go down to the curve and hit it, so then it would be at negative 1. And so for this one to be f of 1, it would be negative 1. And so the point is 1 comma negative 1. So this is that type of thing. So the thing to be aware of is just because you go one way doesn't mean you can't go back the other way. So if you were given the y value at, let's say the y value was at negative 3, it would look like this. It would be f of x equal to negative 3. And so we're giving you the y value and asking you for the x value. So to get the x value in the graph, we'd have to go back and take a look that at negative 3, x is 2. So we're going down to negative 3, hit the curve on the right, and then we see that, oh, what is the x value at that particular point? And it is at 2. So we would say it's 2. And so now your coordinate point is 2 comma negative 3. So you can do that with a lot of these problems. I can look at some of these other ones here. Let's say we're looking at 75. If you have negative 2, f of negative 2, then you're going to negative 2 on your x coordinate, and then you go down until you hit the curve, and you see that, oh, y is at negative 4. So to write that out would be negative f of negative 2 is negative 4. So I go back to this, and for 75, I would do f of, and I forgot it already. So f of negative 2 is negative 4. So f of negative 2 is negative 4. So the point would be negative 2, negative 4. Okay, and if I do the next point, that's my puppy in the background. Come on, it's okay. Be kind. If I did f of 2, then that means I would go over 2 and on the x direction, and notice that it already hit the curve. It's already on the curve, so what is y at that particular point? Well, it's 0. So that would make that the case. So f of 2 is 0. And so my coordinate point is 2 comma 0. And so if you look at it, you see that that's exactly that coordinate point. It's at 2, 0, which is right here. So you can do that to all these different kinds of problems where you're only given the y value and you have to find the x, or you're only given the x value and you're finding the y just by looking at the graph. And that's the piece that you need to know, I believe, for 8.1 as well as 8.4 for the mastery test that's coming up.